All right, guys, welcome everyone. I think we are ready to get started. Let me just continue moving this forward. So today we're going to be talking about the Agile Developer Sprint Availability and Commitment. That's it. We're going to have a walkthrough of the Paperclip exercise, and we're going to go live on the whiteboard, okay? First, I just want to mention that I am Charlie Labasco. I am co-founder with Eva Lewandowski of the Vision Up Group. We're a consulting, coaching, and training company. Eva and I are committed to making a difference in the workplace, your lives, and the world. For more about what we do, go to charlieandeva.com. I'm a shared leadership expert with a presidential award to prove it. Shared leadership is a faster, smarter, more efficient way to deliver scalable results that hold up over time and are delivered not at the expense of others. Imagine that. What do? I inspire teammates to lead, but all teammates, regardless of job description, role, or title. I transform resources into partners. And I have to tell you, when the going gets tough at your company, if not already, who do you think goes first, the resources or the partners? I also bring testers into the development process as equal part teammates. I measure value based on quality software delivered and not time logged against budgeted projects. I've been in over 20 Fortune-ranked companies and maintained several Agile certifications. Practicing Agile methodologies promotes shared leadership. Okay, so Agile is a faster, smarter, more efficient way to deliver. Agile is less cumbersome, less administrative, and less status reporting. Agile is people over process and value over time. If this is not the case in your organization, call me right now, 845-629-6188. That's my direct line. I'm here to help. You can email me at charlieandeva.com as well. Okay, so Agile was born as a result of our failure to estimate. Estimating tools, right, were endless, but all equally ineffective. Here's one, right? We had the t-shirt sizing method. Go figure. Very quick and high level, 50,000 foot high. All you had to do was guess, small, medium, or large. How long is it going to take you to do this humongous amount of work? Well, I don't know. It's a small amount of work. If you guessed small, that was good. Then you were, logged as small. If you guess large, it's like, why? So then there you go, right? We were estimating too much. There were too many unknowns. It's just not possible. It's like estimating how long will it take to boil the ocean. Just guess, small, medium, large, right? How long will it take to boil the ocean? So Agile breaks down work into small deliverable chunks or stories delivered in shorter periods of time or sprints. Agile is all about adapting to change and, most importantly, continuous delivery. This Paperclip exercise is for Agile developers. You guys are the ones closest to and the ones doing the actual work. Paperclip exercise is all about determining developer sprint availability, then owning that commitment. Put in the time and do the exercise. I know we're adults, right? I know work is tough. Put in the time and do the exercise. This is a shared leadership model. This exercise is all about developers, okay? So now let's have a little brief work session on exactly what takes place with an Agile team during the Paperclip exercise. Okay, it'll be brief, it'll be quick. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we're going to go to the whiteboard. All right? Okay, hey guys, so here we are. I wanted to make some quick assumptions, okay? So we're doing 2-week sprints in this exercise. If you know what, if you're not doing 2-week sprints, call me, right? The Agile pattern is 2 weeks for a reason. I can share that with you guys. The assumption here is 2-week sprints. In a 2-week sprint, there's 10 days, right? There's 5 days in this week and 5 days in the next week. And the other assumption is that there's 80 hours per developer, 40 hours this week, 40 hours in the next week. At a high level, if we're making these assumptions, right, this tells me that for this sprint, there's no holidays, right? It's 2 weeks, it's 10 days. And for this sprint, my assumption is that the developer is going to be available. So as a Scrum Master now, I'm holding this Paperclip exercise. I want to now reach out to my developers. Okay, now my developers are in charge of their time and their availability, not me. So I might start the meeting as, okay guys, here is our Paperclip planning exercise for sprint, whatever. We have 2 weeks, 10 days, there are no holidays. Let's go through the team and see what we have. Okay, let's start with Charlie. Okay, so now I'm Charlie, right? I'm a developer. So we see here that there's overhead. So what we want to really drill down on in this exercise is the overhead. Okay, so Charlie says, okay, so for admin, I'm going to the standard established admin time, which we defined early on as 15 minutes at the beginning of the day, 15 minutes at the end of the day, and 30 minutes in the middle of the day for food, okay? So, which totals an hour. And then 15 minutes at the beginning of the day is for emails and phone work and blah, 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 the same at the end. And honestly, if we're all way too important to handle all of those tasks in 15 minutes or less, we need to set our OOO and say, I am in the office, but committed to my current sprint. Any issues, problems, or concerns for my time need to be addressed with my Scrum Master, okay? You have to make the line in the sand to do that. So net, if we do 15 at the front, 15 at the end, and 30 in the middle, that's an hour a day or 10 hours in a 2-week sprint, right? So I'm going to put a 10 here. There we go. Nice. Now we have number 2 for this current sprint. Now I define developer work as hands-down coding, right? Hands-down coding. Not, what does this story mean? Or let me call this person and find out what they think about it, right? Hands-down coding. So in this particular sprint, other than hands-down coding, what is some of my overhead? Well, I have the stand-up meeting, the daily stand-up, right? Which, let's face it, 10, 12 minutes. We don't really want to make more of that. If it is, you developers need to raise that flag at your next retrospective. So let's say 10 to 12 minutes. What am I doing? What did I complete yesterday? What am I doing today? Is there anything in my way, right? By the way, I've seen so many teams say there's nothing in my way, and yet stories get pushed to the next sprint. So you need to own the stand-up, but that's a different topic. But for this exercise, we're going to say the stand-up is anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes over a 10-day sprint. Let's assume that's, 2 hours. Let's say we have backlog grooming sessions. We're going to review some stories coming down the pike. We may need to estimate some new stuff coming down the pike, right? At the end of the day, let's sum all that up for this exercise and say for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to have 7 hours of sprint work, not impacting my development, right? So I have to account for it. Number 3, other. Okay, so what do I mean by other? Well, guys, I support 2 other applications. I attend status meetings for these apps. Occasionally I get support calls. I can't really say for sure. It's kind of dynamic. But I know I have at least 2 hours, 1 hour each week of status. And let's say 2 or 3 hours a week for support. And if it's not there, I can step up. If it is, at least I accounted for it. So for other, I'm going to say 8 hours, okay? That means, outside of this team, outside of this project, I have stuff that I do, all right? And I'm telling you guys, I have 8 hours worth of stuff that I do outside of this project. Now let's go to the last one, right? Number 4, I call it DOR. DOR to me is definition of ready. So we have a backlog. We understand what definition of done is when we do our demos, but what is definition of ready? To me, definition of ready means hands down coding. No need to do any research, right? This to me is the biggest issue that we face in Agile. The stories that we pick on the priority list in the backlog are not really ready for hands down coding. And we oftentimes don't get to finish them in time and we push them to the next sprint. That is not Agile. So I want each developer to commit to some time to work stories on the ready board to get them ready for development. So in this exercise, okay, Charlie is able to commit 2.5 hours a week to make stories ready for development. So that's 5 hours all told, right, for this sprint. So what does that mean, right? So if I add up the overhead, right, 17, blah, 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 what do I have? 30, right? And then what I do is I subtract my 80, my 30, and I'm left with 50. Okay? So in this exercise, Charlie, one of the developers on the Agile core team, is telling everyone that he has 50 hours available specific to hands-down coding on this sprint. Now, what do we do with that? We do nothing. That's what it is. That's what Charlie says. This is a shared leadership model. Charlie says 50, it's 50. If the Scrum Master says, how can we improve on that? How about we speak to your other app manager and maybe allow you to miss those 2 status reports? That buys you 2 hours. Charlie says, well, you know what? If I miss those 2 status reports, I'm not current with what's going on in that app. And that's not a good thing. So regardless if that's possible, I need to attend those meetings. So Charlie owns this number. We need to be clear on this, right? This is the number. So that's kind of how this is. And how does this equate to the paperclip exercise? Well, we have 80 hours, okay? We all start the meeting with 80 paperclips. Every time we have an hour, 10 hours for admin, we take away 10 paperclips. 7 hours for this current sprint, stand up, story grooming, demo prep, blah, blah, blah. We take away, in this example, 7 paperclips. Other apps, 8 paperclips. Getting stories ready, another 5. So Charlie, how many paper clips do you have left? Well, let me add them up. I have 50. That's the paperclip exercise, right? It doesn't have to be paper clips. It could be marbles. Honestly, guys, what you do is use index cards. Every developer comes with a stack of index cards. Every time they come up with an hour of overhead, they flip it. At the end, when they're done, they count how many cards they flipped. That's their overhead, okay? The point here is the developers own this number, right? And they have to account for it. So what happens now? Go around the table. Everybody comes up with their number. Now, Charlie signs off on this. I can commit to 50 hours this sprint. So if I'm being pulled in different directions over and above what I have listed here, it's on me. I got to stop that. I got to say either, sorry, have a nice day, or go and speak to my Scrum Master. I have to account for these 50 hours. This is my contract to deliver. That's the result of the paperclip exercise. Okay, very important. So let's go back to the deck, okay, and continue. So where are we here? Hold on. Oh. Okay, so now we have this document, and it's important for me to say that for each developer, we need to collect this as a sprint artifact. Let's go through it. So this is what the Scrum Master is actually preparing when I'm babbling over my paperclip exercise. Developer availability for sprint 999, right? Team name, okay, so we've done a series of these videos, and early on we named the team and we say why we need to name the team. It's very important. Net, our team name is the regulators. So for the regulators, Charlie Labasco, who's a developer, in this current sprint, blah, 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 999, of 80 potential hours, minus my admin overhead of 10, my this sprint non-developer work like stand-up and demo prep, and other apps that I support and attend meetings for, and also my future story readiness commitment of 5 hours, I really have, in this particular sprint, 50 hours of availability. Now, Charlie signs off on this. This document is filed with the sprint artifact, and there we go, right? So then when we do our planning, we know from the entire team what our true availability is. And then honestly, as a Scrum Master, you know, if we want to improve on that time, we have to figure out ways to improve on it. We can't just say, that's not acceptable, right? We have to understand what that is and so on. So this is a very, very important document, all right? Go through the exercise, hear from the developers, take them at their shared leadership word, file it as an artifact, and then do your planning, okay? I'm telling you, you'll have a much better chance of being successful as a team, estimating in this manner, okay? So I want to thank you. This has been great. Again, I'm Charlie Labasco, co-founder with Eva Lewandowski of the Vision Up Group. We are a consulting, coaching, and training company. You can learn more about us at charlieandeva.com. You can email me at charlie@charlieandeva.com. And of course, you have my direct line of 845-629-6188. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.